Morning. Welcome to another edition of Freedom Friday. This is Dr. E, your pastor of ministry and balance, here for another Freedom Friday to give you another installment and encouragement of the boat encounter. I pray last Friday that your hearts are blessed. I pray that last Friday encouraged you to make it through the weekend. So we're going to continue in our series of the boat encounter. You may ask, why did I choose the boat encounter? The boat itself can be used by many vessels or many modes of transportation. But as we look at what the boat represents a journey, a crossing, an exploration. Crossing the sea can be viewed as symbolic of making a journey across life. Therefore, a boat can be seen as that which enables us to make such a journey, whether it be by faith, education, desire, curiosity, or any such motivation. So our topic today is sometimes it's not where you start, it's where you end up. So I want to pause right now and ask you to invite, share, tag someone, let them know that Dr. E is on with empowerment and motivation for this second installment of Freedom Friday. I pray today that this Friday's edition blesses your life. So I need for you to invite, share, tag someone, let them know that we're live this morning. This is a lesson you don't want to miss, because as it has blessed me in my studies, I pray that it blesses your life as well. So we're going to look at Luke, the 8th chapter, and we're going to look at verses 22 through 24. And I'm going to read it, verse 22 through out of the New King James Version, and then I'm going to read it out of the Message Bible. It says here in Luke, the 8th chapter and verse 22, it says, "Now it happened on a certain day that he got into a boat with his disciples. And he said to them, 'Let us cross over to the other side of the lake.' And they launched out. But as they sailed, he fell asleep. And a windstorm came down on the lake, and it was filling the boat with water, and they were in jeopardy. And they came to him and awoke, saying, 'Master, we are perishing.'" I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to read it now out of the Message Bible. And it says, "One day he and his disciples got into a boat. 'Let's cross the lake,' he said, and off they went. It was a smooth sailing, and he fell asleep. A terrific storm came up suddenly on the lake. Water poured in, and they were about to capsize. They woke Jesus, saying, 'Master, Master, we're going to drown.' Getting to his feet, he told the wind, 'Silence,' and the waves, 'Quiet down.' They did it. The lake became smooth as glass. Then his disciples said, Then he said to his disciples, 'Why can't you trust me?' They were in absolute awe, staggered and stammering. 'Who is this anyway? He calls out to the winds and the sea, and they do what he tells them.'" The irony in this parable is that the disciples had crossed the Sea of Galilee several times over. They were professional fishermen. But it was this boat encounter that would test their faith and expand their eye gate of who Jesus really was. I want you to take note of two points in this text that I want to point to you this morning. We're gonna use this same text over the next couple of weeks because there's more nuggets in here. But I want to give you two nuggets this morning that I believe is going to be imperative to your encounter with God in your boat experience. Number one, they obeyed Jesus by getting into the boat. Therefore, they were in the middle of God's will for their lives. When God sends trials out of your way, it's not because you're outside of the will. Sometimes God will test us when we're in the middle of his will. Why? Because he has something bigger for us on the other side. Number two, the disciples quickly forgot Jesus' word when he said, let's cross over to the other side of the lake. Therefore, what happened in the middle, they were destined to reach the other side. What am I saying to you this morning? I'm saying to you, sometimes when God gives you a word, you feel like you're outside of the will of God. But it's in the middle of the storm of your life that you're in the perfect will of God. Because God is getting ready to show you something bigger on the other side. Even though the storm came, the instructions God said, he said, let's cross over to the other side. God wasn't worried about the storm. He wasn't even worried about the boat about to capsize. He gave them instructions. Let's cross over to the other side. And he went to sleep. If they trusted God, they themselves could have went to sleep too. But they were fearful because they saw the storm with their physical eyes. But in the spirit, they didn't see what God saw. God already knew the storm was going to come. And he knew that the disciples were going to fear the storm. So he went to sleep because he wanted to see what were they going to do when the storm came to them. God wants to know, what are you going to do when the storms come in your life? How are you going to react when a storm comes so ferocious? The storm is so horrific. What are you going to do? Are you going to walk away? Are you going to feel like your boat's going to capsize? Are you going to feel like you're drowning in your storm? Are you going to trust God in the middle of your storm? I want you to know sometimes it's in the middle where we get our greatest victories. It's in the middle of the storms where we get our greatest blessings. It's sometimes in the middle of our storms that we get the greatest endurance of our faith. I asked you the question this morning, where is your faith in the middle of your storm? When you're standing in the midst of it, I know I've been there, and you feel like, God, I can't make it because the storm that I'm in, it seems so big. It seems as if I'm going to be overtaken by this storm. But if God is giving you instructions that you're going to cross over on the other side, that means that the storm that you're in now, when you get on the other side of it, it's not going to be there anymore. What he said, the Egyptians you see today, you will see them no more forever. The storms of life will blow, and they're sure to come and go. But God will meet you in the middle of your storm. Don't you lose heart, and don't you give up, because God wants you to trust him in the middle. We have to learn to trust God when we are in the middle of the storm. Don't panic, but remember the instructions of the word God has spoken to you while in your storms. Don't allow fear to grip you and abort your mission prematurely. Because I want to leave you with this final statement. I promise you this, there will be glory after this. You're coming out of the storm, and you're going to come out of the storm victorious. You're going to come out of the storm equipped, and you're going to come out of the storm stronger and wiser. Why? Because the storm of life's going to come. But remember, while you're in the storm, while you're in the boat's going to take you on a journey. It's going to take you through a crossing. It's going to take you through an adventure. And it's going to take you on an exploration. Remember, the storm is only temporary for a permanent blessing. There will be glory after this. I need for you to share this today. I need for you to send it to your enemies, send it to your family, send it to your friends. But more than all, I need for you to seal this in your spirit. It's not where you start, but it's where you end up. God has a place for you on the other side of the storm. I pray this bless your hearts today as it has blessed mine. Let this be a fantastic Friday. More than anything, let the freedom of God free you from every storm that you shall face on the day. But may God give you patience and endurance to face the storm. But most of all, allow the victorious life that God has promised you to push you further, because there's going to be glory after this. God bless you. I pray today. If no one's told you today, let me be the first to tell you I love you. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Why? Because God is the greatest power. You shall never be defeated. God bless you.